John realized that the chains had sturdy straps designed to bind someone completely in place as they pinned Lizzie to her chair. He realized that they were coming for him the next second, and panicked, raising his hands. "No, please, I cooperate. Please, don't hurt me." "He's harmless. Stay there and shut up, John." Miss Smith walked to stand in front of Lizzie, staring down at her like she was a repulsive insect. "If I had my way, we'd have exterminated you already. But the board is apparently interested in what we might learn from you. Given your performance just now, it seems they were right." "What are you going to do to her? Is this some kind of super soldier program?" To his surprise, Miss Smith laughed loudly and apparently authentically. "Don't be absurd, boy. Even if such a thing wasn't ridiculous, do you have any idea how destabilizing it would be?" As she spoke, she put on a new pair of surgical gloves and opened the second metal case filled with clear syringe. Miss Smith glanced at one calmly, squirting a bit of the liquid out of the end. "In any case, it appears the girl's condition is a freak accident, a combination of genetics and chance that is not likely to be repeated. The other girl displayed very different characteristics after all. No, Kai-Tech is interested in safe, stable project, which we may be able to extract from this girl if we can just figure out all the details of her case." "Don't hurt her, please." "If she cooperates, we won't. Are you going to cooperate, Lizzie?" "That is what I was afraid of. Let's see if this will change your mind." Miss Smith jabbed the needle into Lizzie's arm. She hissed and tried to break her bounds, but they stayed firm. "Now, are you feeling more cooperative?" Lizzie shot her a glare of pure malice. Miss Smith waited for a while, then frowned. "Ineffective? As I feared. Well, this is why we brought alternatives. Hold him." Too late, John realized that they were referring to him. Some of the remaining soldiers held him in place while Miss Smith approached and injected him with the second syringe. Instantly, his head was filled with a pitch-black fog. With it came pain and lethargy, rendering him nearly comatose in his chair. It took everything he had just to focus through the fog. "Stop it! You see, the fixation on the boy is part of her insanity. I told you we could use him." "Is she going to cooperate? Well, girl, will you?" John wanted to tell her not to give in, but his jaw didn't seem to work. He couldn't even twitch when Miss Smith came closer and injected him with something else. This one took away the pain, but the world began spinning violently around him. The black fog in his mind swirled together with the world around him, and he could feel himself being dragged down into an uncomprehending haze. Staying focused on reality was becoming difficult. Ghosts of everyone spiraling out from their bodies. "Stop, you're killing him." "No, I have no intentions of doing that. This will already be enough of a mess. We can't afford any more legal conflicts. But with enough of these, I can make him completely compliant. He'll say anything he wants him to say. He'll say anything he wants to say, and everything that he is will cease to be. The world sent a wave of cold horror spiraling into the whirlwind around him, but it made Lizzie give a sobbing cry as everything faded away. The last thing he heard was her desperate plea. "No, please, no." Before he could hear anything else, John lost his last grip on reality. He tumbled down into a maelstrom of chemical and emotion and chaos. It felt like he fell forever. And then, suddenly, it all stopped. It was as if he stood in the eye of a hurricane, swirling chaos around him, but for the moment, perfectly still. And at the moment he saw a fever dream of fracturing time. In the moment he knew that if he gave in, they would die. If Lizzie gave them what they wanted, they would die. Everywhere he turned, death. He knew he was probably hallucinating, but he still searched for some path that he didn't end in death. Yet he found nothing. His mind grew lighter, and he could feel himself coming out of the stillness, back through the chaos. He knew that unless he used his moment of clarity to do something, oh God, stretching, he would be lost. But what? There was death on every side, and even outside the hallucination, what could he possibly do? He was weak. Lizzie was trapped. The enemy was all around them. Then one death stood out to him. He caught only insane flashes of things he couldn't understand. A glimpse of a willow tree and then death. But unlike all the other points of light dancing in his vision that he was sure were hallucinations, this one felt real, heavy. It was death, but not death like this. He had no idea what it meant. This was probably all in his mind, breaking apart, but he still longed for the final death, that final death. He came back to himself, reeling but somehow standing. His world was cloaked in dark fog, but he could see enough. Everything he had seen moments before seemed like madness to him, but abruptly he realized what he needed to do. Not even thinking about it, he lunged away from the soldiers towards the table, grabbed the bright red syringe, and plunged it into Lizzie's shoulder. They wrestled him away next second, even the soldier taken aback that he had moved like that. Miss Smith stared at him in shock. "Are you insane?" Maybe you are. Maybe a part of my mistake was thinking you were normal in the first place. Well, I'll fix the mistake soon. That chemical was valuable. You going to regret wasting it. But not as much as she was going to regret ignoring Lizzie. As the chemical pumped through her body, Lizzie became strangely calm. Her eyes were glassy and empty, but that did not mean she was sedated. Eyes still blank, Lizzie calmly tore through her restraints and rose to her feet. What? How is she? Lizzie dissolved into a stream of erratic movements, almost faster than the eye could follow. Slumping back into his chair, John could only watch. She smashed one of the soldiers' head to the ground, and something gave a sickening crack. While the other was still recalling, Lizzie lunged at the next one and tore his throat with her teeth. Oh man, she's got blood on her, I just realised that. Jesus Christ, how long have I been recording? They were all panicked, trying to react to her movement even faster than before, but it was too late. Lizzie had picked up her axe. Oh my God, what a wonderful sight. Watching her, John couldn't help but feel that she was strangely beautiful. Her erratic movements mothered out because of a deadly dance that sent sprays of blood away from her almost elegantly. Through it all, she laughed, yet it wasn't a laugh of desperation. There was a savage joy that was happy to hear. What had possessed him to inject her with the chemical? Thinking about it, it seems an act of madness. But on some level, he had been certain that her body hadn't rejected the drug. It had adapted, absorbed it, become stronger. And so, the second dose he had just multiplied the effect. Soon all the soldiers were dead. Miss Smith stared in horror, then managed to pull herself back together. That's enough. Do you realise he's seen all this? Your little fetish is going to... Her head tumbled from her shoulders. John blinked in surprise as he realised that Lizzie had literally decapitated the woman with her axe in a single blow. And then Lizzie was still. The blood slowly dripping down her body. She stood not far away from him, axe held loosely, laughing. Was gone. Just standing, watching him. He realised that though the chemical had increased her strength, it had no doubt magnified her mental instability as well. He couldn't know what she was thinking, but he could see the turmoil in her eyes. All John wanted to do was lay down and sleep. Maybe let her kill him. It didn't matter. He had pushed himself too far to care. And yet he saw a pain in her eyes, and he remembered how many times he had felt that same way and wished that anyone would help him. Somehow, through the pain and dizziness and greyness consuming him, John stood up. He took several uneven steps over to Lizzie, then wrapped his arms around her and held her close. She was still for a moment, then gripped him back so tightly it was almost painful, and with her axe dangerously close to his head, but he didn't let go. John wasn't sure how long they stayed like that. Gradually he seemed to come back to himself. The chemical mess he had been injected with fading away and leaving him with nothing but his own depression. Oh man, that sucks. Getting depression back after all this. That was his. He knew with a heavy certainty. There was no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy there. No easy solution. It was something he would live with. But he wouldn't live with it alone. Lizzie shifted her arms, raising her face up enough to kiss him. Sometime later they both parted. He felt heavy, but he could move. Something vicious still lurked in Lizzie's eyes, but it was the viciousness he had come to love. Are you okay, John? You're asking me that? I'm fine. Whatever they did to me wasn't permanent. What they did to me was... I feel described it. I can't describe it. Oh, God, come on. Open your eyes. I'm getting tired. Do you hate me? You've seen what I really am now. I'd never be normal. And I don't want you to be. Huh? John, please tell me you love me. I love you, Lizzie. I always will. Yes! I love you so much. I would slaughter every single person in this world just to be with you a second longer. Well, let's hope you can get a better rate than 1 second for total genocide. Let's hope you can get a better rate than 1 second for a total genocide. Lizzie gave a brief little laugh. She sounded almost normal for a moment, and that single moment helped both of them return to themselves a little. This is really a mess. We have to leave. If we stay here too long, they'll find us. Is there any hope? I think they contacted Koatek headquarters about us. No, they didn't. I destroyed their communication systems first. She gave him an odd grin, a mix of nervousness and vicious satisfaction. I wanted to come after you right away, throw myself at them until they were all dead and you were safe, but then I remembered all my time with you. I want to be with you forever, John. We have to make that happen. But how? All of this? I will hurt them too. It will hurt them too. What? Okay, well. It will hurt them too. They're already under government security, and the way they work with local police is definitely corrupt. They can't afford to push on this. But they wouldn't forgive us for this. Then we'll just have to make sure they'll never find out, won't we? She smiled, and he smiled back. Lizzie extended her hand, still covered in blood, and held hands while they set about cleaning up the bodies. What? Why you not, man? Clean up that. Hey! Oh. Was that the real ending? Hey, that's a nice picture. John, oh God. Are you still with me? Yes, just thinking about everything that happened when we met. Ah, yes, so much emotions, but it was like living in a movie, wasn't it? I've never seen you kill that many people before. Oh, you're thinking about the time you injected me. Always such a romantic. When we first met, you said you found me. It wasn't only that I found you. If I hadn't, I don't know if I would have survived. I certainly would never have discovered all this. We're surrounded by so much beauty, aren't we? Yes, I never imagined that a singular focus could expect so much. But now, I'm glad we're alone now, John. I made the right choice with you. My words were so grey, and now I'm so glad I found you. Lizzie, do I need to say it? No, I already know, but you can say it one more time if you want. My God, everything's not... True ending! Whoa, yeah! I did it! Choose your title screen. Living tree, but burn tree. Yeah. 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 Right, that took a long time. And I know I probably broke up all the videos without saying it, but I've been your main man, Aaron Paradise. This has been Crimson Grey. I liked the story. It was good. It was fun. It was kind of scary as well. Mentally scary, not physically scary. But yes, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment and share. All that fancy stuff. And I shall see you in Crimson Grey... What was it? Dusk to Dark or Dark to Dust or something? Whatever it is. The next one, okay? Yeah. Thank you and bye.